Hey there friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today I want to go over everything you need to know about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League before you decide to buy it or not. This game will be a live service looter shooter, so if that doesn't interest you at all, this might not be the game for you right from the very beginning. But if you're a fan of games like Destiny or Warframe, if you're looking forward to every single comic book game that is released, then this video is likely going to be something that you're interested in. First off, there will not be an offline mode for the game at launch. That is important to some people. They really want to play the game offline, but there are two very important reasons why it won't have an offline mode at launch, even though that should be coming down the line according to the developers. First off, there is a very unique pawn-like system where you have characters from other players who you can use in your party, and it will keep those players' gear and stats and everything. So if someone on your friends list or the leaderboard has a really cracked Harley Quinn that you want to take with you into various missions, you can do so. You can still play by yourself. You don't have to play co-op if you don't want to, but being online will allow you to always have access to other players' characters to join in your campaign, while also allowing those other players to potentially reap some rewards as well, which I find to be very interesting and I do like as a concept. The other reason that this game is likely going to be always online, especially in the beginning, is that there will be a leaderboard for certain types of content, and in order to prevent the leaderboard from being cheesed, essentially you want to make sure everybody is always on your servers and that they don't have access to either mods or other cheeses that have been known to infiltrate games when you can take your characters offline. And I think that's something that the developers are likely very much aware of and trying to work a fix out for before launching the offline mode. Now, how big of a deal that is depends on how competitive you are, but I understand wanting to keep that leaderboard as fair and balanced as possible. So that's why that is likely going to be the case. Now, at launch, you'll be able to play every single campaign mission in co-op, which is very nice if you're looking to play with friends. It won't save your progress only for the leader. It will save your progress for everybody, which I think is also a great idea. Unlike games like Gotham Knights, where you could only progress one person's storyline at a time, that will not be the case for Suicide Squad, which is very, very good. And you can jump in and jump out at any point. So if you have a friend, you want to jump into the game for a couple missions, you can do so and reap the rewards, but have a good time with your buddies, even if you might be at a different place in the campaign. Once you beat the main storyline, you can go back and replay the main story as well on harder difficulties with better rewards, which is a very good idea in my opinion to promote that replayability. There's no telling how long the campaign is going to be at this point, but I would judge based on past looter shooters anywhere from 10 to 20 hours of a main storyline with some side content mixed in there as well. So if you're looking for a 50-hour open world storyline, this is not going to be that type of game. Most likely, you are going to find some of the content to be a little repetitive if you are looking at past looter shooters in order to level up, in order to grind your characters. It's the same thing for RPGs at times where you are going to really want to farm for certain better gear, for higher levels and all that kind of good stuff. So that's very, very important. At launch, the game will have the 4 main characters, but then every season after launch, which is going to be every 3 months, you're going to have access to another new character, which can be used to play the main campaign as well, although it won't alter cutscenes that have the 4 starting characters in the game. So if you want to hold off on the game and wait until Joker or another new character down the line, that is definitely something to do, but keep in mind, all of those updates will be completely free for every player, which I think is very good idea. The only thing that you have to pay for outside of the original $70 or whatever you pay for the game at launch will be the Battle Pass if you'd like to do so. that is completely up to everybody to determine whether you want to purchase a battle pass, but all updated content will be completely free. And the nice part about that is the new content has been planned out a year in advance. It does look like they have a better plan for post-launch content than a lot of other looter shooters that have launched. So even if they have some bugs and issues to work out, we've seen it with Destiny 2, we've seen it with games like Anthem and Marvel's Avengers. They get caught up fixing things for so long that they're unable to bring out new content, and that's really going to harm the game, because you want to continuously push out something new to get the player base excited to jump back into the game. And that's why having a steady plan, a roadmap right from launch, is so very important. Now, as far as combat goes, this is going to be where a lot of people are going to have to decide how much they enjoy it based on a couple different factors. First off, build potential looks like it's going to be very important. You're going to really want to customize 8 different slots for gear on your character from 2 different weapons. You have melee weapons, you have a grenade slot, and a bunch of other slots as well that you're going to need to mix and match for your builds. And all of that will be very important for endgame gameplay, but likely not super important if you're playing the initial campaign, which can be done on easy, medium, or hard mode right from the very beginning. So even if you just want to enjoy the story real quick in the game, then you can go through and play that on easy mode, no big sweat. Just remember that your higher difficulty levels will have better rewards, such as more experience, better gear, and all that kind of good stuff. Now, as far as other endgame content, they've told us about several different options that we're going to have, including they're going to have invasion levels, which are going to be different levels of the world where you're going to have more difficult enemies but better rewards, which is very nice to see. You can go back and do any of the different missions on increasingly difficult levels. And then from there, you'll also have a horde mode. You're going to have the else worlds, which are going to be little stages that you can take on different missions in. You're going to have these boss fights as well, which are going to take on variants of the different Justice League members. And so there's a lot to look forward to. There isn't going to be anything like a dungeon or raid like we've seen in other looter shooters right at launch, but I do feel like we're going to get those down the line. It sounds like we'll have things like strongholds, which could be interesting. I don't know exactly what those are going to be as of yet, but I would imagine we will get a raid or something equivalent to that in the game within the first 6 to 8 months, which is very nice. Again, some of that may lead you to hold off on pre-purchasing the game as you see how it all shakes out. But if you are looking for a looter shooter to play that you are likely to drop at least 100 hours in, if you are a fan of looter shooters, then this is going to be the game for you, in my opinion. I do feel like those of us who are fans of those live service looter shooters have been struggling to find the next big thing. A lot of people jumped on the train for Once Human, which looks very good, but isn't going to be released until much later this year. We still have the first Descendant, which also won't be released until later this year. So this is going to be your best option in the near future for a looter shooter. And it does look like one that I believe will be a ton of fun, even if there are still some question marks about the replayability overall. And also, the story looks like it's going to be pretty cool as well, as far as following the different Justice League members. So I'd love to hear from you guys on what you think of the game so far. Do you think this is a day one purchase or not? Are you going to hold off for a sale? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to be posting a ton of Suicide Squad content going forward. My name is Jopa. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.